Welcome back to Comics, the podcast where me and my mom look at comics 2 issues at a time. This is a Marvel one, Incredible Hulk 321. It's from 1986. So, in this version of the Hulk, Bruce Banner and the Hulk have separated from each other.
Oops.
This one's called In the Walls Come Tumbling Down.
The cover promises a huge cast of characters.
Yeah, definitely a lot of guest stars in this one. So we start with Hulk attacking Doc Samson, and it's being covered by this news broadcast. And they say that Hulk is using Doc Samson's body as a battering ram, and they're not even sure if he's still alive.
Holy cow.
They're in Jericho, New Mexico. And the Hulkbusters are these people in blue. They were supposed to be teaming up with Bruce Banner to find a way to destroy the Hulk or prevent him from going on a rampage, but obviously it didn't work.
No, he's rampaging. That's intense. This guy's reaction is equally... Wow, I don't know though. You know, Hulk separated from the brains is a terrifying kind of situation.
So these Hulkbusters are from all around the world. One of them is named Hideko. I think she's from Japan. One of them is French. I think that might be John Larroquette.
Okay.
One of them is named Craig. And John here tried to go toe-to-toe with the Hulk and only got a couple of broken ribs.
So the Hulk had some restraint. That's good.
Well, I think that armor helped them a little bit, but not very much.
Yeah.
So, anyway, they were really just trying to buy time for the citizens to evacuate. And as this newscaster, Diane Bellamy, says, it's very similar to an evacuation for a hurricane or a flood or a tornado.
Jeez.
Because the Hulk is an elemental force.
Mm-hmm.
So, some of these people say, I've been living here. This guy says, I've been here for 60 years and no kind of varmint is going to run me off.
Varmint.
And they're talking a big game until the Hulk comes bursting loose and scares them all off.
Jeez. Using this guy's body as a battering ram?
Yeah, he's really flailing him around.
That's crazy.
And so that must be Saunders, must be Craig Saunders. I think we'd know more about these Hulkbusters from the previous issue, but they're not that interesting, honestly. But this guy, John Larroquette, is saying, I can't wait to get my hands on Bruce Banner because he set us up to fight Hulk and then he disappeared. And so we cut away to this medical helicopter, and Bruce is on a gurney here, and he had just gotten married, and he was going on his honeymoon in his purple pants, of course.
That's interesting. He got to keep the pants, and Hulk got to keep the pants.
They both like the pants.
Purple pants and a turtleneck.
She's got a weird outfit on. I can't tell if that's supposed to be a life preserver or if it's just
Or
80s fashion.
Oh, yeah, this is the 80s, yeah.
So that's Betty Ross, I think. Thunderbolt Ross's daughter. They finally got married now that he's no longer containing the Hulk. And he had some kind of medical event, and they're going to take him to the hospital. In fact, the paramedics are like, we're not even sure he's going to make it to the hospital.
Jeez.
But he says, don't let them take me to a local hospital. I have to see Dr. Fisher, because he knows it's not a normal sickness. And they're like, I don't know if you should try to fly out to some specialist. He might not even live that long. But she insists, and they're like, okay, I guess.
Are like, it's your funeral?
Yeah.
Gee,
It's your fault if he dies.
wow, the Hulk is just crazy.
Sacre bleu. That's what he says. How much more can Samson withstand? They
Wow.
make him sound kind of French. Here
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there. And they find a gun that didn't get wrecked in their first confrontation with the Hulk. And Armand, that's another one of them. Armand wants to go confront him again with this. I don't know what he's thinking. It didn't work the first time.
Exactly.
He's like, maybe so, but I can't just watch the slaughter without taking action. And she says, Martel-san, no, this would be an act of seppuku, not heroics. Seppuku is Japanese ritualistic suicide. So Hideko goes to confront the Hulk instead without a weapon. I like this
That's
drawing of her
nice.
yelling. So she gives like a martial arts yell at him or something. Ki.
I know.
Yay.
Yeah.
So
That would be a nice poster, though, wouldn't it, kind of?
yeah, if you like an old Japanese lady yelling, that's your favorite character. Huh? So it gets his attention, and he throws Doc Savage aside, or Doc Samson,
Whoa.
and he
Like
goes
a
to run at
toy.
her, and she waits calmly until the last second and trips him. She sticks her foot out. I know, that's surprising.
Oh, that would just piss him off, though.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Oh.
He falls, he takes a big dive, and they're all shocked. Can't you do that again? And she's thinking, I used my Aikido technique to use his own strength and momentum against him, but it didn't hurt him, it just annoyed him. And I don't think he'll
He
be able
looks
to
like
do it
he's
him
getting
again.
bigger.
Yeah, she's not going to be able to get the drop on him, so she says it's like trying to wrestle a tornado.
Wow.
And just before she gets walloped, Captain Marvel
Oh, good choice.
and the washing machine goes off for a really long time.
It's part of the
It's subtle.
sound effect.
Yeah. Just in case you didn't hear it down the block. So this is Captain Marvel, rather, not Miss Marvel. And she's taking the form of different energy to try to distract the Hulk here. Infrared is useless. Ultraviolet isn't even giving him a tan. Cosmic rays, nada. She's like, maybe I should use gamma rays, but that might just make him more powerful. I should ask one of the more scientific people first before I try something like that.
Yeah, it's like with Superman, is there an opposite to gamma? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That might. But, yeah, I'd have to ask a scientist, too.
Amig. It's gamma backwards.
Yes.
So meanwhile, back at the Avengers Mansion, the Fantastic Four are hanging out, and this is the 80s Fantastic Four. So they're like, you know the thing? What if he was a girl
And green.
and a different character? So She-Hulk is in there instead, and it's like, why are you here and not the Avengers? And the Avengers were called away to confront the Hulk, of course. And she's a little mad. She says, what? Why didn't they tell me? And how come the Fantastic Four didn't go along to help? The Avengers felt the Hulk was their problem, Jen. They left us in charge here to act as backups, or if any other emergency arose. Their problem? Well, maybe so, but I have to go too.
That's
It
my
may-
cousin.
That's what she says. It may have been a blood transfusion from my cousin Bruce Banner that turned me into the She-Hulk, but now that the two of them are separate beings, I can't help feeling that in some way I'm a part of the Hulk too. Jarvis, please alert Stingray. I'm on my way to Hydra Base.
Oh.
Okay, I'll call Stingray and tell him you're on your way to Hydra Base. It's a weird thing to say.
That's an interesting kind of drawing, a reaction from Reed.
I know. I'm not a big fan of the short hair Invisible
Sue,
Girl.
yeah.
It's a little weird. In general, both of them, they look too young for
Yes.
the time period. They should be some of the oldest people
Right.
out of all the teams. Actually, I just read the first Fantastic Four comic. I got one of
Number
those.
one?
Well, I got one of those trade paperbacks that's like the Essential Fantastic Four, and it's got the first couple years of issues in it, and it's pretty goofy. that story gets told and retold in different versions later on down the years, and there's some details about it that I didn't remember.
Really?
And the way they draw the Thing is really inconsistent too.
Oh.
In that first issue, he's like super lumpy sometimes, and then completely different from panel to panel.
Really?
Yeah, like he's shifting or something. It's weird. So anyway, Jen goes to confront the Hulk, and she's just in time because Captain Marvel isn't that effective. It's a cool panel though.
That looks
It keeps him dazzled.
insane.
For now, but he's still leveling buildings. I don't know how long I can keep stalling.
Leveling buildings. Jeez.
I do kind of like the red and silver Iron Man. I like that version of Iron Man.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It stands out though.
He's like the spicy Cheetos version of Iron Man. He's like
Yeah, I agree.
they should have gotten him to be on the hot fries box instead of Andy Cap on the bag.
Yes.
Those are
Spicy
comics
Iron
that
Man.
give comics a bad name. People think comics are dumb. It's because they only read, like those, what is that gum that had comics in them?
Oh,
They're all
the
just really stupid
Bazooka?
puns. Yeah, Bazooka
Yeah.
gum. And
You know what though? When I was started in grade school, my friend and I would bring bazooka gun to school all the time, and we collected
brought a bazooka to school.
Well, no, bazooka gum. And
Times were different back then.
not that much. And we collected the comics in there. And at graduation, she gave me all the comics back, and it was a huge stack.
Really? She kept them all that whole time?
Yes, yes.
That's funny. I remember getting those from, there was a little, like, convenience store type thing down the street from El Cap in Nagani.
Yeah.
And we'd go down and it was still one of those stores where they had, like, a plastic jar of different candies. So they're like 1 cent each or whatever.
Yes.
Like handwritten sign on it of like 5 cents for these ones. And you just grab them and count them up.
Yes.
But
As
they
a
always
kid-
tasted dusty or something. Like they tasted
Yeah.
good and sugary, but the flavor went away in like 2 seconds.
Oh, bazooka was, it was worse than the zebra gum.
Zebra's pretty bad too.
Yeah.
That flavor goes away right away.
And bazookas
Bazookas
so
are hard to chew. Yeah, it's a workout for your jaw. I always thought that when I was a little kid, I was like, I'll get a strong jaw, like an action hero. If I chew enough of this bazooka jaw.
That should have been
Wouldn't that be funny? You're like 9 years old, you walk around with a chiseled jaw.
that should have been their ad in the comic books.
Yeah, breaks your teeth, makes you more manly. I never liked Wonder Man that much. He's all right, but he's a little bit of, like, he's supposed to be so cool. I think he was a stuntman or maybe he was an actor. He's some kind of Hollywood guy that got powers.
Yeah.
So they managed to grab him, I guess. You know, they knock him down. But then again, that old lady tripped him.
Right. One time.
You can get away with one.
Even you can get away with one.
And you know, speaking of, he doesn't have the torn purple.
No, it's just underpants.
Yeah, he's just got underwear on. So, some more West Coast Avengers. By the way, this is the West Coast Avengers now.
Oh,
So
okay.
they are led by Hawkeye. You would think it would be an Iron Man-led team because with the MCU, he's such a boss.
Right.
But no, they let Hawkeye
And
be
he
the
comes
leader.
into every panel. I'm Hawkeye, leader of this group.
If you got to tell everybody that, are you really the leader? So he's catching up with the Hulkbusters while the actually powerful characters fight the Hulk. I have to say the MCU
goodness.
did a lot, in my opinion, to make Hawkeye cooler, though. I will give him that.
Yeah.
I was never a big Hawkeye fan. Still not my favorite, but they made him a little cooler. I will say I think there's a newer Hawkeye miniseries that's supposed to make him a lot more interesting. I think they used that comic as inspiration for the TV show, where he fights like street level criminals.
Yes.
And I think that's more the type of character, the situation he thrives in.
I have to admit that I always like Green Arrow better than
Oh,
Hawkman.
definitely. Green Arrow's more interesting. I think his whole like being a billionaire, but also being like a kind of like a socialist.
Yeah.
And then also sometimes he loses his fortune. And so it's got weird, like, it's got the corporate intrigue of Iron Man,
right.
the vigilante without powers of Batman,
Yeah, that's right.
the
That's
archery of
right.
bow and
Okay.
arrows, generally, of Robin Hood. I don't know. It's an interesting mix. Whereas
it is.
Hawkeye, at least at this point, I don't know that they had done much to make him, like, beyond what his gimmick is, different powered arrows or different, like, traps or gadgets attached to them. What else
Right.
makes him unique?
Right.
He's got an okay color scheme. I wish they had brought back that purple and blue. I think
Yeah.
they gave it a nod in the TV show, if I remember right. But so anyway, they're kind of talking. This is a theme throughout this comic. They say maybe we should just kill him. The Hulk is no
Whoa.
longer Bruce Banner, and we don't want to kill anybody. But think of all the people that might get killed if we don't take him out.
He's kind of a villain now.
And even Doc Samson, he is. Even Doc Samson says, no, you must destroy Hulk, so he's still alive.
What?
We might still save him, make him into a benevolent force. That's Doc Samson. He's fared even worse than we did against the Beast. It's a miracle he still lives.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and you gotta wonder, what are Mockingbird and Tigra gonna do
And you know,
against
the
the Hulk?
awkward thing about Tigra was always the bottom of her feet. I think about that, remembering that as a kid. It's just so
She's got long
awkwardly.
toenails.
Well, that's her claws.
They're very flat.
Yeah.
Look at that line.
And,
She's got no arches to her feet.
you know, because there are certain artists in the comic book world who have been kind of bullied about not being able to draw feet. We won't mention them. But Tigra's
Feet
feet,
are
were
hard.
always in the
Yeah, it
comics.
looks like they did the outline and then just they're like, that's good enough.
But she's a cat. She
Especially
has toe
that
beans.
foot. You can see the individual toes are different heights there, but it's all just kind
Yeah.
of a flipper with lines on it for that one.
Yeah.
I guess you can get away with a little bit because she has fur, so they're, oh, it's just blending in. Like how you
Right.
can't see your cat's individual toes very well
Right.
from the top. I don't know. So the Hulk leaps and bashes them
What
these two together.
uses Iron Man as a weapon?
He likes using people as a battering ram.
Jeez.
And Hawkeye hits him with some explosive arrows,
Oh,
and
God.
he's trying to.
That just made him mad.
Yeah, he's not dodging. They're like
Vroom.
Hawkeye's about to die, so they push him out of the way.
Jeez.
I just didn't want to let my team down, Bobby. He says, I just wanted to show our new West Coast team could do as well as the East Coast originals. He's a little insecure about being on the West Coast Avengers. That would suck if you were saving people like the Avengers and you're like, actually West Coast Avengers.
Actually.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Thanks.
So another Quinjet shows up. And
Goodness.
who's here? But Hercules and Namor. You would
Oh,
think
boy.
if anybody could start to rival the Hulk, you're getting into Thor level. With Hercules' strength, who knows? He might be stronger than Thor. I'm not sure. And Namor is typically depicted as almost unstoppable,
Right.
especially if you get him in water. I guess they are not anywhere near water, but you think they
Right.
could lure him to the ocean or something. So
As he has,
they all simultaneously punch him.
he's got these guys hanging off his arms.
Yeah.
Jeez. But as we saw in the Marvel Universe, cinematic universe, Loki, a demigod kind of godlike creature, he just flopped him around like a
Yeah.
rag, which was great.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite moments. So he just throws them all off like they're nothing. I especially like Namor's leg and arm. He looks really prone. Look at how twisted
Jeez.
Iron Man's leg is as he goes flying.
Oh, that's hyperextended.
Yeah. So the Black Knight is the next one to, I guess the Black Knight and Wasp are sent in, and Hawkeye's like, Black Knight's not going to do much to tip the balance. It's like Hawkeye. He's going to probably do more than you.
Oh, okay. Little judgy.
I doubt that the additional power of you, Captain America, and the Black Knight, he even rips on Cap a little bit, and Cap's like, are you being overly pessimistic, Hawkeye? I don't think so, Cap. I mean, the Hulk just brought a building down on our guys. I'm afraid the question isn't whether we kill or capture the Hulk, but whether we should even dare to fight him at all.
Oh, God.
So Captain America shows why he's the leader of I was going to say the leader, but actually Wasp is thinking here. Cap takes up the mantle of leadership so easily. He forgets that I am the Avengers chairman now. I'll deal with that later, but for now.
Oh.
So she tries to shock Hulk's eardrum, but it doesn't even.
She should have gotten smaller enough to go inside and tickle so he'd be like beating himself up.
There you go. Maybe he could knock himself out.
Right.
And apparently the Black Knight's sword can cut through anything, but he can't get close enough to the Hulk. I guess the Hulk knows that because he makes him go flying. So he's even strategic in how he fights these people.
Interesting. So he has some sort of intellect.
Hawkeye thinks, look at the way Cap just takes charge. No self-doubt or hesitation. I wonder if I'll ever have half the leadership ability he does.
Really?
What's our best chance of capturing the Hulk, he says, and Namor says, capture? Hercules says, we have done our best to restrain him and have been rebuffed. I say we must kill the beast. Look at his eyebrow arch. His flat top of his head. I agree. If we exercise restraint when battling him, we put ourselves at a serious disadvantage. They may have a point, Cap. This is Iron Man. I think I've been unconsciously holding back, maybe thinking about how the Hulk was a member of the original Avengers team. He was always brutal, but never like this. Wonder Man says, no one holds life more sacred than I do. After all, I sort of died myself once, but we have other lives to consider. What if he makes it to a major population center? Think of the cost in lives and property. I don't condone killing anyone. After all, the Hulk is not responsible for his actions. Yet when I think of the lives he has destroyed, heaven help me, I don't know what to do.
Poor Cap.
Seems like even Cap's coming around to the idea.
Yeah, he's teetering, but I don't know. I don't know that he would go that route. I think at the last moment he would rescue him and, I don't know,
Maybe.
take him off somewhere secretive, but how? Yeah.
He's Captain America. The death penalty's still legal in some states, isn't it?
It is.
He'd execute him. Academic Industries has comic classics. It looks like it's all classic literature. I think we had some of these comics
do
that
have.
were books. That would be an interesting episode to do, to break things up.
Dostoevsky.
Yeah, Hulk Skoyevsky.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, at the La Paloma Medical Center, this is Rick Jones. He's sort of the Hulk's like, I don't want to say a sidekick, but he's like his little buddy. You know,
Okay,
I
yeah.
think he was the guy that Bruce Banner saw was like out on the testing field when they were setting off that bomb, and he saved him.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's how it went originally. So he's being visited in his hospital bed by General Ross. This is Thunderbolt Ross, the guy who is always out to get the Hulk, even though he still likes purple pants. He's like, I like him with stripes. Get that guy. So he came to apologize because he shot Rick Jones at Bruce Banner and his daughter's wedding.
Jeez.
He probably was trying to shoot Bruce Banner
Right.
and missed. And he's racked with guilt. He goes back to his own room, and Thunderbolt Ross is like, curse Bruce Banner, curse the Hulk, I've nothing left to live for. Lost my commission in the army, turned my own daughter against me, and this shadowy figure says, you have something to live for. I'm a friend who wants to help you get revenge against the Hulk. What do you say, General? I'm interested.
I'm interested.
Yeah, he hasn't learned anything.
Jeez,
He
yeah.
almost killed Rick Jones.
He flipped
wow.
pretty easily.
So, meanwhile, back in Jericho, they're fighting the Hulk and still losing. Look at this dog pile they have going on. I wouldn't want to be these two.
No.
Tigress says, time for this little cat lady to skedaddle. My claws were just getting worn down on his hide anyway. There goes another building.
Jeez.
At this rate, there won't be enough of this town left to make a decent toothpick. Thank goodness the people got out in time. It's not going to work, Cap. We may actually have the edge in sheer physical power, but the Hulk's rage gives him the advantage. He's out for blood, while we're playing Marquis of Queensberry. That's a weird thing to say.
Yes. That took a
What does that mean, Iron Man?
Huh?
You're distracting me. He can still take a blow from his
Yeah, he
hammer
could.
from Hulk's fist, though. Look how big Hulk's fist is.
He's got Hercules by the
I
head.
know.
Squishing your head. Jeez, Hulk is just looks at. This was a precursor to the 90s. It's his muscles have muscles have muscles.
I know. It's like, how does he even
Jeez.
flex his arm?
Yeah, throw him in a pool. Don't they say that the really
no
muscular
joints.
men can't, because
Really?
they don't have as much buoyancy?
Probably. I don't know.
And then Submariner could come in and,
Yeah, he needs to get him near some water. That's where he really shines.
here's a glass of water.
It says, while the Avengers struggle with the Hulk and the moral issue of whether or not to take a life, back at the medical center, the doctor struggles to save a life. So they got him to Dr. Fisher. They got Bruce there. And he's saying, I'm not really sure what's wrong with him. But you know what? It might be from the separation between him and the Hulk. He says, apparently his separation from the Hulk was not as successful as we hoped. I thought the main problems were psychological, but there were serious physical repercussions as well. You see, when Bruce's unique molecules were culled from the body of the Hulk, they appeared to form a complete entity. The fact is, Bruce's molecular structure is incomplete, unstable. I would expect the Hulk to be similarly affected, though apparently he has shown no such signs. Your husband is dying, and there's nothing I can do to save him.
Well, that was worth the trip.
Right.
Jeez.
Couldn't have been a phone
Jeez.
call.
Wow.
So, I like all these onomatopoeia bubbles there.
I thought she was leaving.
Zam. Well, she was probably trying to and got caught in the crossfire. Look how stiff Wonder Man's legs and arm looks.
Wow. That's crazy. And they're
I
all
wish
coming
there
with
were
everything.
more panels like this, like a big splash page of it. A couple
You
of
know,
them.
they should have got Reed Richardson, because couldn't he have, like, wrapped himself
I
around
think
Hulk?
he's tried before, but
Oh, really?
yeah, it just made him
Jeez.
madder.
Well, yeah,
You
that's
do
true.
the things that make him not mad.
A bag of kittens. I'm telling you.
So, yet another Quinjet approaches, but nobody notices because they're all fighting. They're all debating whether they should kill the Hulk, but it's like, could you even?
Right.
So She-Hulk alludes to a couple issues ago. Hulk 316. It's even worse than what they did to Stone Ridge. So apparently the Hulk was rampaging recently, because that was 616 or 316. We're in 321
21,
now.
yeah.
So.
He doesn't hold it together
Every
long.
6 months or so. So she interrupts. Stop! I said stop. Zounds, Hercules says. No wonder he never took off as a character in a solo series. Zounds! He's still saying that in the 80s. The Hulk's temporarily confused. She says, that's better. Now let me try to reason with him. We're a part of each other. If anyone can reach him, I can. Now take it easy, Hulk. Easy.
She's confident. Hawkeye needs to hang out with her.
Maybe. Easy, big guy. I'm not here to hurt you. That's right. It's me, Jen. You remember, don't you? See? I have green skin too, like you. We're cousins, Hulk, and friends. Crack-thoom! He gives her the old crack-thoom.
Whoa.
That settles it. He's no more than a mindless beast. With his power, nobody on the planet is safe. This is Namor talk. I think it's Namor. It might be Wasp.
It could be Wasp.
That's a funny facial shot of Namor. He looks
He's
very-
like, yeah, it's a weird pose.
Hercules' head got smaller from Hulk squeezing it. But the only way to stop him is to kill him. Yes, I'm afraid we have no other options, Captain America says. The Hulk must be stopped at any cost. And if he must die, then by Zeus, so be it.
Oh, he's solid in what he wants to do. No one grabs my
Somebody
head.
shrunk your head like that, you'd be pissed too. I
Oh,
love
it's
how angry She-Hulk looks. Like, what the hell?
Now, does that work with her too? The more angry she gets, the stronger she gets?
I think so. I don't think she can ever. She's never been as strong as the Hulk. I guess they're like, you know
Wow.
what? Why have two Hulks if you're going to
Right.
make both equal?
Right.
Maybe because it was a blood transfusion and not like the initial explosion. It wasn't as much gamma radiation or something.
Right.
Maybe it's just sexism. They're like, it's a girl. Girls hit softer, so she's super strong, but not like this guy. He's got purple underwear on.
That's
I
enough
like
to
that
make you mad.
Mockingbird is like dropping one of her
Oh.
batons. Like, it's going flying that way.
Yeah. Wow. And we didn't even see her in this.
If this was Captain Marvel of today, of the MCU, she'd just like
Oh.
fly out into space so you
Yep.
couldn't even get back.
Yeah, he'd just be out there floating, punching random things as they go
Yeah.
by.
Just get him lost somewhere. Let him be somebody else's problem. I guess
Go
that's
take
what
him
they did
to-
with the World War Hulk plot, though.
Ah. Take him to a planet of Skrulls or something. Here, fight them.
Well, the Skrulls are sympathetic. In the new MCU, they're like, some of them anyway, are
True.
like refugees or whatever. 'Cause
Ah.
the Skrull homeworld got destroyed by the Kree, didn't it?
But there's also the invasion.
I haven't watched that yet. I'd like to.
I've watched about 4 episodes.
Is it good?
I am enjoying it. I've heard that it's, not as well liked, but
Yeah, I think
but I'm
people are getting a
enjoying
little
it.
burnt out on Marvel, but for the super fans like us, you don't get sick of it.
no, never.
There was gonna inevitably be like a popular to dump on something that's been popular for so long, and maybe maybe
Oh,
the
yeah.
quality is slipping, but that's just part of being a comics fan. Is
Yeah.
we still like, even after they broke Batman's back and killed Superman, it doesn't mean the characters are bad or every part of it is
Well,
creatively bankrupt just because they do stupid stuff from time to time.
true. And speaking of Batman, that's why I chose this one.
Is he dead?
Well,
He's a zombie.
look at those hands.
They're
And
I like how oblivious Hawkman is. Look sharp, everyone, as they're the only ones seeing what's going on. The
And
Batman, he must be here someplace.
and it was the reaction from the girls that got me. Great era. I think we found him. At least what's left of him.
Who was that guy? Tommy Tornado or something? Do you know Human Tornado?
It's a red tornado.
The red one.
Tommy. I like
I
Tommy.
don't like him very much, and I think he's a robot, which makes him even harder to like.
I'm
It's
not.
like you're a robot, and that's how you chose to dress.
That's why I brought all our Marvel Universe that I had at my place. Because I thought, I don't know the origin of
Tommy
the
Tornado.
tornado.
Well, he's
Yes.
DC anyway. I don't know if they made
True.
a DC guide to the universe. I imagine they did at some point.
True. But anyway, we start with just kind of a day of being up in their floating office, and they're doing a little bit of maintenance. And this time it was Batman's turn, so he's out there.
They're on like a rotation.
Yeah,
I was gonna
yes.
say, just have one of the superpowered people do that. It seems dangerous for a human to do.
But it's Batman's
It's
turn.
also weird to wear a spacesuit over your Superman costume. It's a little weird looking.
Yeah.
What if he has to take a poop really quickly? He's got to get out of all those layers.
Yeah, that's true. And he's talking back and forth with Hawkman. And, just Hawkman says, just be careful, old friend. It's a long fall if you slip. And they have the little radio, which, in space you don't hear anything. But anyway, and Hawkman's like, oh, it should have been me out there. I should be out there, not Batman. And then Batman does the human thing, which makes me growl. He drops a tool, short circuits. And so Hawkman inside loses all power and breaks the bulkhead. And Batman just kind of starts floating away,
Clumsy ass Batman.
loses consciousness. Hawkman is like trying to maintain connection and and not lose Bruce out there while dealing with empty space invading his space.
I
So
like that he doesn't have an oxygen tank or like a little line that goes back to the ship, like a tube.
right.
He's just free floating in space. He looks pretty dead.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Hawkman has to deal with this, and he sends out a beacon to all the other heroes in the group.
He's like the worst guy for the air supply to suddenly whoosh like that.
Yes,
He's the worst person. So they have the worst person to be out in space,
And
the
the
most
worst-
vulnerable, and the most vulnerable to wind whooshes.
yes,
overseeing it.
inside.
They're not that smart.
And they're 40,000 kilometers away from Earth, so they send out the beacon. And Wonder Woman hears it, but she's holding up a side of a building as the firemen are rescuing kids. But she's like, well, I can't stay to help you clean up. Duty calls me elsewhere. So
Wouldn't that be tough where the kids are like, let me give you a hug? You're like, I really have to go. One of my friends is dead or dying.
that's nice, but I gotta go.
I know. It'd be hard to give everybody their little time in the sun there.
Oh, and then we've got Zatanna, and she's in the middle of a show. And as she says, for when he reopens them, Zatanna will be gone. And actually, she is. And she's not coming back because she answers the call. So she's on her way. And then we cut to.
Zatanna says things backwards, right? That's how her magic works. That's what
Yeah,
that's
she
going on
does
there.
her
I was trying to figure that out. View from me, hide me, cloak, air, night. I think you're not supposed to. Night, air, cloak me, hide me from view. Okay, so you still read it
Okay.
left to right.
but backwards.
It's hard to read.
So then we cut to the park, and we've got, is that Ant-Man? Who is
Ant-Man.
that? No, who is that?
That's the Atom.
The Atom. Sorry.
Ant-Man's Marvel.
Sorry.
You've been reading too many of those Marvel Guides of the
I
Universe.
have been.
That's Ray Palmer, the Atom.
But it's hilarious because this kid, he comes across a kid whose plane won't fly. So he gets in it and he flies.
He doesn't have better things to do to contribute to society.
And
Wonder Woman's saving people from a building, and he's flying around in a kid's toy.
yes, and he even says that when I saw you crying. So anyway, he gets up there, shows the kid, yes, it does work. But then this hawk wants to make a meal out of him. So he's
It's
like,
a
oh,
falcon.
it is.
He knows his birds. If
Well-
you're prey to them, you probably do.
That's true. I guess that would be weird to have Hawkman up there fighting for his life.
Yeah.
And then a hawk down here trying to eat one of his.
Hawk eating a man.
There you go. So he flies through this fence and gets the hawk off him. But the plane lands itself, and the kid's like, I mean,
I feel like a bird would know to make itself skinnier as it's flying, or
I
to
think-
just not fly into something like that.
yeah, or fly up
Yeah,
above it.
avoid it.
Yeah, yeah. So the plane comes back and he's gone because he's taken off answering the call. So we have all these heroes answering the call, and we have this line coming into a theater, and these kids like, catch the weirdo with the Kojak look. And they say us new waivers got freaky hairstyles.
Oh no, is this Tommy Tornado they're talking about?
It gives us a glimpse. And
What year is this from? 1982. Okay.
so it's
4
you
years
know.
before mine.
And what a long 4 years. And this girl with the foxy lady.
I didn't know they were using the term new wave in 1982.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was later. I didn't know that much about it.
Because I graduated and went to college in 81, fall of 81. So, yeah, for Halloween, I went as a new age.
New wave was like Blondie,
New
right?
wave kind-
like
yeah.
Talking Heads and Blondie and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Is that new wave?
Kind of, the cars were kind of even, some people
Okay.
considered.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But,
Yeah, I guess I kind of know what it is.
But anyway, they're waiting in line, and The little girl coughs. And it's getting so you can't even go to a movie anymore. I wish they'd stop smoking. It's bothering Treya. And you, Kathy Sutton. And me, John.
Why does he use her full name?
I
That's weird.
know. And then he gets the alert. And he's like, oh, Kathy, forgive me, I've got to leave. She's like, oh, business
John
call.
Smith is his name. He's so generic. He's so generic they didn't even bother to draw hair for him or anything. Just make him a generic bald person.
And still, I would not wish to depart without offering some advice to these young moviegoers. Yow, my hair! Where'd the big wind come from? A clean wind clears away bad air, young lady. He takes her cigarette. This city has smog enough without your added contribution. These guys are all watching. And he takes off, answering the call.
Ooh, we have Elongated Man and Superman, too. And Aquaman.
And Aquaman. But it explains that they're too busy. He's out in the middle of the Atlantic.
He's hanging out with these octopi.
Saving a distressed ocean liner. And then we've got, they go to Star City. Green Arrow's busy. Plastic Man, or Elongated Man, sorry.
He's spying on some chefs. What are they cooking in there?
And Ronnie Raymond, he's busy. The Flash is taking a shower.
Oh, man.
What a week.
You'd think he'd take a really fast one.
Mm-hmm. And Ronnie Raymond, he's too involved with a basketball game, high school basketball game, that he doesn't hear. And as we're getting, at least they're acknowledging the other heroes in the group. Our other ones appear up at the station. And Hawkman is, yeah, you could tell. He's just like, I can barely keep up. And so Wonder Woman grabs a piece of metal from the floor to block the air being sucked out. And Tommy Tornado here, he creates like a crosswind kind of.
Counter vortex.
Counter vortex. Reddy's vortex is bringing the wild air currents under control.
Ready.
But we're still bleeding atmosphere. So Wonder Woman picks up the floorboard, puts it in place, and Zatanna comes in and creates a spell to pretty much weld it in place. And Wonder Woman is like, my hands! Which causes a little drama because Zatanna is like, oh, what have I done?
She burned her.
Yeah. What have I done if Diana's hurt? And Hawkman comes up. She's like, oh, I'm just a little startled. And she punches a column just to show, see, I'm okay.
Damn, that was load-bearing, Wonder Woman. What the hell?
Damn it! More wind.
It's a weird, aggressive Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
It's like something the Thing would do or something.
Oh, yeah, definitely
Full
something that
macho.
Thing would do. I like how they draw the tornado, though. So he goes around, and Zatanna starts helping putting things together. When Hawkman notices that he's lost Bruce's blip
Uh-oh.
out in space.
He
That's
just floated away because everybody was busy riding around in toy planes and stuff.
I like how they illustrated this, though. You know, the little passage
Yeah,
of
it's
time.
kind of bleak.
And Zatanna's like, disappeared. Radar tracks don't just vanish. Oh, yeah, Adam. What has he
he's
been doing
there.
this whole time?
Playing with toys.
Riding around in a little Stuart Little's car. Perhaps some failure in the instruments. And so they take off to try to go to the last place where they saw Bruce, his last blip. And according to the computer plot, Batman was just 300 meters from here when he was lost. Diana, Hawkman, I can't explain it, but I have the strangest sensation, like nothing I've ever felt. And Red Tornado's like, I too, as though I were approaching an intense electromagnetic field. And they're like, but there's nothing out there. Nothing but stars and vacuum, empty space. Diana, that sensation, getting stronger. Feel so ill. I can't. Suddenly. They break through. And look at this thing.
Oh, that's cool.
this huge
By the
ship.
gods and goddesses of Mount Olympus. And Zeus pops in. Or Hercules. Sounds! What does that even mean? It's like sound with a Z.
With a, well, lightning.
Sounds.
Oh, yeah, Zeus. Yeah, good point.
It sounds like Thor would say that as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure I've seen him say that before.
Oh,
It's just kind
yeah.
of dorky. Sounds.
And we're inside a kind of force field. Not only that, Wonder Woman, my sensors detect a breathable atmosphere inside this field. And she's like, then these suits can come off. It's like, wouldn't you keep it on just in case?
Yeah, what if it depressurizes or something?
Exactly. So they're kind of looking around, seeing what this thing is, when the ship has its defenses
jeez.
and it grabs their ship, starts to crush it, so they flee. May I suggest a timely escape? My thought exactly. Take my hand, ready? Poor guy. And
That's kind of a unique idea. The ship's gonna crush your ship
yeah.
with its tentacles.
It's got tentacles. But the tentacles start turning on our heroes. Hawkman can't keep flying evasively forever, and the
Is he
rest
flying
of
in
us
space?
don't have wings. We have to defend ourselves. Yeah. Well, you'd think that would,
I didn't
be
know
able
he could
to-
breathe in space, or he could survive in space.
but it's got a breathable atmosphere. So,
Well, it looks like they're still outside of it.
but wouldn't they fall
Yeah, I don't know.
unless the gravity of the ship? Yeah, I don't know. But
So
their
they
ship
left
is
the
gone.
ship before it was crushed,
Crunch, as it was being crushed,
like an eggshell.
like an eggshell. And what does he say? And thank the gods of robotics that the special exit hatch is still operating.
The gods of robotics.
Oh goodness, Wonder Woman. And so the tentacles turn on the heroes, each of them, and they each deal with it in their own way. Wonder Woman just grabs it and turns it on itself. And Adam here.
Let me guess. Zatanna says something backwards.
Exactly.
Stonk.
Exactly.
Selkaknet. Eat puni stonk. Knots in up. Tentacles tie up in knots.
That would be so hard to talk backwards.
I know. What if she had to fight Bizarro and he's talking the way he does? That would be the
Oh
worst
my
comic to
god.
read. It's written by a boomer, so every line has 3 ellipses after every 2 or 4 words.
Oh. So they fight the ship's defenses until Adam, he goes in through the lock and kind of picks the lock, gets the hatch open. And just as these missiles were firing down and Wonder Woman wasn't able to protect them with her lasso, they leap in. I like this awkward leap. Everybody comes in at the same time. Exit stage left. And the ship gets hit by its own missiles.
This ship is full of traps.
It is completely full of
You don't
traps.
see a lot of trap ships.
And when they get in there, they're like, this place is like 3 miles tall. It's this enormous ship. And when Wonder Woman's like, listen, that hum or something or someone is approaching. And it's this little bobbing, weaving, floating in midair like some giant metal bumblebee. A glittering machine drifts into view and immediately astonishes all present by saying, the doctor is busy. Do you have an appointment?
That does not look like a bumblebee to me.
No.
Points for creativity, I
And
guess.
doctor, appointment? Am I hearing things? And they're all just wondering. So he
He's a
tells
Wolfman
this-
doctor.
He's telling the stories. The story. My creators are curious people. When they had fully explored both their homeworld and their solar system, they sent forth a master explorer to wander the stars, and his name was Ursak. He was a hero. And they sent him out into various worlds, various planets, and everywhere he went, he would send back the stories to his homeworld. And he visited a world covered by great sheets of ice, inhabited by a race of hairy snowmen He stood under a triple sun and exchanged gifts with a reptilian tribe of desert dwellers. He wandered a world of swamps whose dominant life form worshipped him as a god. They wore vests. They weren't that primitive. And everywhere he went, he made a record of what he saw and did, and instantly beamed to the homeworld.
They're like, our arms don't get cold.
But then he went until he came to a world orbiting a G2 type star.
Let me guess, Earth.
And that's where they attacked him. And they immortally wounded him. But he knew if he could get back to the ship that he could be healed. And so he took off back to the ship, but they had already...
Oh, damn.
And
They wrecked it?
They were in there being stupid and wrecking stuff, pulling stuff up. So he realized the only thing he could do was put himself into a stasis chamber. And so he dragged his wounded body inside. They're protected from death by suspended animation mist. He went into hibernation. And so they lost... his homeworld lost track of him, so they sent the ship out to track him to his final bleep.
That's a great drawing of the ship.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's like something out of Battlestar Galactica.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as his message was received, an automated medical relief ship was launched. This ship, Hospital Starship 1. That would be crazy. That would be a great ship to appear.
Yeah.
Everybody could just line up and get healed. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, they'd start selling tickets.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So after a journey of many years, during which we passed through countless subspace storms, we reached the G2 type star described in Ursac's last report.
Poor
Stupid.
Ursac.
Stupid humans. And we took up orbit around a world that fit the Master Explorer's description of the planet where he fell. We broadcast a signal to his starship control computer, and concealed behind our force field, we have waited patiently for a response. It must be admitted the response time was a long time in coming. Approximately 200,000 of this planet's revolving around
They
its
waited
sun.
that long?
Wonder Woman's like, years? 200,000 years? Now, Hawkman has been at the computer controls this whole time. I've been studying their computer, Wonder Woman. It's true. They've been orbiting Earth for 2,000 centuries. And I've learned something else. Just a moment, Hawkman. This machine said something about finally receiving a response. Machine, explain. She is bossy in this issue.
She's got her brow furrowed.
Yeah,
She's pissed.
I like this version. And attend, for 200,000 revolutions, we have waited for Ursac. Now at last he has arrived, and his injuries were indeed severe.
Oh, no.
The doctor has labored to repair the injuries. You may judge his success for yourself. A panel sliding open. Hogarth's ring! It's Batman! Look at Batman! Look at
He's
him!
a wolf Batman.
I know, I love it.
Batwolf.
And
These machines must have thought he was Ursac.
merciful Minerva, they've turned him into a monster. Worse than that, Diana. Look at his eyes. He's gone mad.
I love the little dots.
Yes.
He's insane.
That's
Your
crazy.
pupils are like that.
It's all whites and
Yeah,
tiny
just
little.
tiny little pinhole pupils. Something's not right.
That reminds me of that Garfield. That.
The eyes without a face thing.
Yes.
The lasagna cat. Yeah.
Yes.
It
Waiting for
drifts
that.
off.
But yeah, that. Oh, I love
That's
that
funny.
panel.
So they thought they found Batman. They're like, oh, they shaved all his hair off. Let's heal him. They thought it was Ursac.
Yeah. Oh, he must have traded for that cool outfit. So, yep, they healed him, but then he attacks,
Damn.
and his strength must be fantastic. I never thought to see Diana flung down but so easily by anyone.
Yeah, she punched a hole through that girder.
Yeah.
That weight loading, that weight bearing. girder that messed up our entire ship.
So they start fighting him. I love Adam here. Whack! And what
Right
he
on the bridge
did,
of the nose.
I fixed my size and weight controls for 180 pounds at 6 inches. That should pack quite a punch, I hope. Doesn't do anything.
He just smacks him.
Ping!
Backhands him.
This cannot continue, friend against friend. The battle must stop. Whoom! And then we have the doctor here. Desist, you are hurting our patient. Such behavior must cease at once. And a deadly quiet falls over the scene, broken only by the sudden flutter of beating wings.
I should have been this for Halloween.
Oh, that would be great.
Harry Batman with dot pupils. He looks insane. I'm surprised there aren't memes using this character.
Oh,
He
yeah.
looks like he'd be good in a meme.
Yeah, he does. And let the winged one flee, security devices will capture him. As for you, Ursak, my sensors indicate you need treatment. Wait, where are you going? If you're sick, stop. You must stop. So the ship is still continuing to try to heal him, but he's going after Hawkman, which is exactly what Hawkman wanted. And so he's waiting for him, but then he's like, oh, behind me. And the Batman grabs him and tears off his wings.
Damn.
Off.
Oh, he has at least my anti-gravity belt is still in one piece. That's
Handy.
so convenient.
Handy. Wait. And the doctor's still approaching him. And the Batman monster seems not to hear. Grunting, it casts about in the darkness until its gaze falls upon a familiar mask. Ooh. Like a red scarf before a wounded bull, the mask seems to taunt the pain-maddened monster, sparing an explosion of rage. Sparking.
This is just like Hulk.
It
We've got
is.
two raging characters.
It
It's an anger
is.
episode.
And then we
That's a
have
good drawing.
Kazam! The Batman monster never sees the bank of highly charged machinery that lies behind the Hawkman's mask. It was a good ploy. So he gets knocked out.
All he
And,
needed to do is be electrocuted, and he got him all back to normal.
He's like, sorry I had to trick you, old friend, but it was the only way I knew how to put both you and this weapon-packed hospital out of commission.
Here we go.
Now comes the tricky part.
Reprogram. Okay, so
Yes.
I saw that and that. I was like, really? They just electrocuted it out of him? But no, they have to. He's really good with technology. He can just show up on a random ship. That
Yes.
doesn't speak his language or anything. And be like, yep, they've been here for 2,000 centuries. You just got to reprogram this thing.
We got it.
Back to
Yeah.
normal.
Back when, he's back there when the little bumblebee is telling
His
the
mullet
story.
is
He's like,
sticking
keep it down. I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
That's a cool shot from behind his
yes,
mask.
he's waking up, and as Wonder Woman said, he's waking up. Stupid of me dropping that calibrating tool. Luckily, I wasn't killed. He still looks a little rough around the edges, though. I must have taken quite a wallop. My head feels like, And the Batman blinks, looking down at his tattered costume, and then around him at faces lit with knowing smiles. So they tell him the story, and Hawkman reprograms the ship, and the doctor machine is like, excellent again. Please accept the doctor's apologies for unfortunate occurrence. With your permission, we must be on our way. Permission granted. Hawkman is such I don't know, I like him, but he just has the answers, you know?
Yeah, he's not my favorite.
But with
Hawkeye, Hawkman, I don't need either one of them.
it says, with a bob that seems almost like a bow, the glittering probe departs. On its way where? Passing through the satellite airlock to rejoin the looming hospital ship in orbit not far away, no longer concealed by any force field. Zatanna told you how I studied the hospital ship's computer, Batman. That's how I learned the location of the main control pod where you knocked yourself unconscious. I found out something else at the same time.
Uh-oh.
That ship has spent 200,000 years waiting in the wrong place. 2,000 centuries ago, Earth was in the middle of an ice age. The planet was the first world Ursak visited, not the last.
Oh.
So he reprogrammed it and sent it on its way. And he says, I wonder if anyone ever really finds what he's looking for.
So it wasn't Earth that treated him so poorly?
No, thank goodness.
Well, I was really worried about it. Oh, this really reflects poorly on humanity. If this is real, I feel terrible.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I love that cover, though. I like the purple. on the
Yes.
hands. Both really good provocative covers.
Yeah, yeah.
I could have just used more action in this
And
one.
actually, you know, we always, how many times have we talked about a cover and you said, but it's not actually what happened. But in both of these, the covers displayed what actually happened.
Yeah, that is a really good point. They didn't really sensationalize it. Yeah, that's exactly right. Some of these Hulk facial drawings are great.
Oh,
But
excellent.
I just wanted more creative action scenes out of this one. I could have had less of this like exposition stuff and just more of
Right.
what's going on here. I thought there were some cool action panels, but some of it's like part of what's fun about Hulk fighting to me is the creativity of like throwing people around or just like weird attacks that he does. I don't know, it's just-
Yeah.
I could have used more of it.
And you know, we don't get any Hulk smash.
No, he doesn't really say anything, does he?
No, he just growls and
Well, that was probably the banner in
banner.
him. Now he doesn't even use language. He just
That's
punches.
pretty sad.
Right? Because even when She-Hulk confronts him at the very end, he doesn't have anything to say.
no, all right. Although it's just roar.
Urgh.
Urgh.
He just growls.
I do like that panel though, where it's like, "Urgh," and then, nope, nope, not falling for it.
Well, thanks for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.